Hello, my loves. Are you ready for your weekly reading? It's Louise here, and I have a weekly reading for you upcoming and a little healing on the end if you wish to receive. It is Sunday here, so I just wanted to say happy long weekend to those in Australia that are celebrating the long weekend, which I know is Tassie and Canberra, ACT. I'm not sure who else. I know in New South Wales, the holiday that we are getting today in Tassie is actually the one that you get in October. So it may not be a long weekend for you watching, but it is here in Tassie, and it kind of feels a bit different this weekend. I feel as though, yeah, I don't know. It's just a weird feeling this weekend of the days being out of whack. But anyway, no matter what you're doing, where you are, and how this weekend is for you, this is your reading for the upcoming week. And this can be for this week as I post it, or it could be any other week that you come across this reading. So just take what resonates and leave what doesn't, and use your own best discernment and intuition, and trust and follow that. So I just want to apologize if you hear my son in the background yelling. He is gaming with his friends online, and sometimes he gets very loud and boisterous about that. So if you hear something in the background, nothing wrong is happening. There's nothing bad going on. My son is completely fine and happy. He's just yelling, playing a game with his friends. So I just wanted to put that out there if you hear that, because he is very loud, and this house does not, even though we are... Sorry, you might have heard him just then. Even though we're at the opposite ends of the house, his voice just carries. So I just wanted to put that out there, so you know that there is nothing wrong. Okay, so let's get into this week's reading. And as I was tuning in, I was guided to some of the things that I've been feeling as well. I feel as though there's a little bit of boredom coming in, a little bit of wanting things to happen and get started and move along, but feeling as though there's a bit of resistance there, and there is something slowing our way. And I think that that is completely necessary at this time. I also got, as I was setting up, the number 3 coming through very strongly, and a sense of ritual coming through very strongly. So the number 3 can mean divine completion, resurrection, the Trinity. It could also mean completeness, and a few other things that have left my mind. But you know, number 3 is usually seen, I think, as a fairly good sign: joy, luck, that kind of thing as well. So I feel as though I think I might have even said this through the week, we're at the precipice of change. We're just not there yet. And we're being asked to slow down a little bit. And some of you may be feeling quite creative at this point. And I know for me, as someone who knits and sews and also does all of that kind of crafty stuff, I actually haven't done a lot of that in quite a while. I've had a total resistance against it. And recently I've had a really strong urge to pick it all back up again and start making things again. And so this could be literally for you as well. You could be crafty and want to make things yourself, whatever that is, even if it's woodwork, gardening, leatherwork. I'm getting, and even like knitting and crafting and things like that. So you could be also getting the urge to do that right now. And if you're in business and you have no crafty bones at all, maybe, now's the time to do something a little bit different in that respect. Or maybe it's calling you to be creative in the way that you approach your work as well, and be creative in that you are creating a new role, a new business structure, a new course, a new idea, a new business venture, a new side shoot, you know, whatever it is. I just realized I forgot baking and cooking as well. That is hugely creative. But you are being called to be creative at this point. And so for the last few weeks, we've been asked to slow down and go within. And I feel as though that was really to figure out what it was that we wanted to move forward with. I'm sure that I also mentioned setting goals and working towards those in the last couple of weeks. And I feel that this is all linked. Okay, so we're in a progression. So we've been called within, and we've been called to really assess what we wanted to do, what it was to move forward with, because now is the time that we are really leaving the old age behind, and we are stepping into a new version of the earth and dimensions and all of that as well. And our own lifetimes are reflecting that. And so we have been really called to go within and reflect on what it was that we wanted to let go of. And then now we're being called, if we've done that successfully and we've kind of thought about things that we wanted to let go of, things that maybe we wanted to bring to fruition, what our dreams and our goals were, and what we felt in alignment with and what we didn't feel in alignment with, and we didn't know how to proceed, we didn't know which way to go forward, and that wasn't the point. We didn't need to know that. We just needed to start taking a couple of steps in that direction. And even, as I said, it could have been as little as trying to set some goals towards what you wanted to do, or just thinking about what it was that you wanted to do. But we had to know what was in alignment with us. We had to have that time of reflection. And now that we've had that time of reflection, we still might not know the path forward, and we might not know the exact steps to take. And that is where we're meant to be right now, okay? We are just about to figure that out. And so I think what Spirit is calling us to do is to be creative, okay? So it might be something completely unrelated to what you normally do. Okay, sorry, my nose was so itchy, and yeah, that's a sign that I'm channeling right now. So we're being called to be creative right now, and it might be in something completely unrelated to what we normally do, and that is what is meant to be. Because when we are in the flow, as psychologists call it, when you are in that creative state, okay, you are in the flow, you are connecting directly with the source, and you are in the flow of what you are meant to be doing. All of that information, intuition, thoughts, ideas come to you through that creative purpose. That's not the word. Creative pursuit is the word that I'm looking for. So when you're actually engaged in that creative thing, whatever it is, whether it's cooking, whether it's gardening, whether it's knitting, whether it's sewing, whether it's building boxes, putting furniture together, even going for walks, okay, whatever it is, if you're stopping to smell the roses in your life and you're being called to be creative and you're doing a creative task now because you're feeling called to do something, then that is your way of Spirit sort of getting you out of your own way, getting your ego out of your own way, and opening you up to the flow of consciousness so that you can receive what it is that you're meant to do next, okay? So you might be getting steps forward on like what your overall goal is and what your purpose here is, or perhaps it's maybe just a little bit of, okay, this is the next step I need to take. This is what feels right for me. This direction feels good. And you might not know the specifics yet either, and that's completely okay. Or maybe you are getting the specifics, and that's okay too. So it's about opening ourselves up to the flow, and Spirit is really guiding us to do that at the moment. So you're really being called, if you're in my collective, this is what you will be feeling right now, to do something creative, okay? And it may not be what you normally do, okay? And that's okay. Just trust it and go with it. Because also, like, I know for me, I used to use knitting as a meditation. When I was healing a lot of my emotional wounds that I had been through about a decade ago, and I was really, really going through a intense time of healing emotionally, I was knitting a lot. And I really loved it because I could do something physical with my hand, but my brain, my mind was off with the fairies, thinking about all the things and processing everything that I'd been through and healing it and going through it. And so some days were messy, other days were better, but it was calming my neurosystem and my nerves, and it was bringing me back to my body, and it was allowing me to process everything that had happened and also think about the ways I wanted to move forward. So I was using that heavily at that time for that. And over the last few years, I've completely pushed that away because I think I got a bit burnt out, to be honest, and I didn't want that anymore. And maybe it was because I didn't need that space anymore. And that's okay. You know, we all go through cycles of change. And now I think I'm being called back to that, to allow myself to open up and yourself to open up to information coming through, because in today's world we are so busy and we have 100 things on the go, and sometimes just stopping and doing something with our hand and being in the flow will allow those thoughts and ideas to come through and process within us, and we can decide whether, yeah, that feels good to me, I think I might do that, or no, you know, I think I'm done with that now, I don't need that anymore, and I'm going to move on from that. So yeah. And I was just trying to think about where I wanted to head with the next direction of things, and that's why I pulled out some cards earlier of a deck that I never really use, because I don't really read tarot, but it was the Four of Water, which would be the Four of Cups, but it's about missing opportunities, discontentment or boredom, opening your eyes to the possibilities. And another card I pulled was a false sense of an entrapment, being overly focused on material things, negative or fear-based thoughts. And I feel that that's where we've been sometimes, and we feel as though we're missing an opportunity, or we have been feeling as though we've missed an opportunity because we've been sitting around and not doing a lot and feeling bored. But if you know anything, psychologists say that you know, being bored is one of the most constructive things that we can do, and our children need more boredom in their lives. They don't get that anymore, and exactly why is because we're tuning into the divine consciousness. When we're bored, we have to think through things and we have to focus on ourselves, and a lot of people don't want to do that. Okay, they're entrapped in ego, that card, and they don't want to face themselves, and they don't want to face their fears, they don't want to face their wounds, they don't want to face what might be wrong with them, okay, and what they've done wrong in the past, and they don't want to face that, and they want to move forward. And I really believe that if you're in that camp, you're going to be hit hard in the next few years to really awaken. Hopefully in my conscious group here, that are collective, that are here, we have done that work and we're ready to move forward. But there may be some of you that haven't and have been afraid to look at yourselves, and I'm here to tell you that you need to look at yourself. Okay, don't be afraid to do it. Yes, it's hard to go within. It's hard to face the bad things that we've done or that we feel that we are, okay? But until you can embrace that of yourself and realize that actually it was probably a strength, and maybe you didn't actually portray it or partake in that thing the best way, that's how we learn, and that's how we grow, and that's how we move forward. So if you want things in your life to change and move forward, then you really need to look at the things that have happened in your past and the way that you have been and reacted and done and missed opportunities. Okay, we need to really look at those and those fears and find out, well, what was it about that time that made me do that? What was it that made me feel that, think that? Okay, and is that really in alignment with myself? And do I feel that that's something I want to take forward? And have a good hard look at it. And, you know, there are going to be elements where you're going to say, geez, even though I reacted in a really bad way, this is for example, so say I went off at a complete stranger in the car park, okay, and just lost my shit at someone for no reason. Why did I do that? Well, maybe I was under so much pressure and stress and I didn't know how to deal with it. And maybe I was pretending to be okay and I wasn't. And that circumstance showed me that I actually wasn't okay. And I apologized to that person in spirit. And I now, and sit with that thoughtfully and try and do that, and then look at those situations that caused that and think, okay, so maybe I need to acknowledge my fears and my thoughts before it gets to that point where I boil over, because maybe that isn't the right way that I should be, and that's not in alignment with my true self, and that's not the person who I am. So let's just maybe look at that and realize that if I start to get angry in myself, that maybe things in my life are not right. And maybe I need to have a hard look at what isn't right in my life and what I need to change to make it better. So could it be asking for more help with the children if you have children? Could it be taking a day to yourself each week or a couple of hours to yourself each week? Maybe it's about taking a mini vacation because the stress is too much. Maybe it's about reducing hours at work so that you have an afternoon to yourself at home to catch up on the housework. Maybe it's, something like that, okay? You know what this is and what you need to look at. And so if you haven't looked at that, don't be afraid to do that, because honestly, that's the beginning of change in your life. If you keep doing things the way that you've always done them, you'll never get change. So if you're looking for a better life, you really need to embrace those shadows and look at them and think about how you could have handled a situation better, and maybe be a little bit warned that the universe may throw that same situation back at you so that it can test if you're really going to change that, and hopefully you pass, okay? But just be warned, that could definitely happen, but not to be afraid of it. Maybe it won't be the exact same situation, but it might be, something along those lines anyway, or something similar, or something designed to make you feel the same way. But anyway, the other couple of cards I got were your wishes come true, concerns fade away, and a love life. 9 of Wands, water. So that would be like 9 of Cups, but I don't read tarot, so I don't really know. But I know that 10 of Cups would be like the total control and mastery of your emotions and things. So 9 of Cups, you're pretty much there. And so it's indicating a new beginning as well, starting out for you in relationships and perhaps the love life. And the other one I pulled was Queen of Water, and relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition, care for yourself and others. So yeah, perhaps you are on the verge of bringing in a new relationship into your life. Or perhaps your relationships are going to develop even deeper and better at this point in time. The care for yourself and others, I'm really feeling like that is paramount. And if you haven't been doing that, to please start doing that. And that's going to be focused upon in your life. We all need to take care of ourselves before we take care of others. And even for me, I've noticed a real push towards that lately. Being a single mum, I have always put my children first, and anytime they need something, I work my hardest to get it for them. However, if there's anything that I need, I kind of put that off because I don't see that as being as important or as necessary. But honestly, lately I have been guided to buy myself a couple of things that I wanted just because I wanted them, and things like that, or just because I needed it to take care of myself as well, because without me the family doesn't also function. So that is probably true in your own life. So where are you being guided to take care of you okay? If you're an overspender and you've spent the last 5 years just spending way too much money, maybe it's about actually taking time to start saving and investing and getting a budget ready for yourself. So maybe that's the way you're going to take care of yourself and start putting money away for your retirement and things like that. So that's also a possibility. So it doesn't mean always going out and spending money, but also taking care of you and making sure that, you know, instead of maybe working to 10 o'clock of a night to get all the housework done, that maybe you let a few things go and just take the extra time to sit and read a book or journal or watch the TV, whatever it is that, you know, fills your cup. Do that right now. Okay, and I just wanted to pull one more card, and I pulled it from my own personal deck. So I'm not going to show it because it's not completed, and this is my personal deck I wrote some years ago. But the card was Ascended Masters, and just to be aware that the Ascended Masters are with you right now and they're helping you through this time. So I really do feel like it's a really potent time and transition period, and nothing is by chance at the moment. Everything is to plan, and we might not know what that is, but we are definitely following a plan and to trust that, okay? Better times are on their way, and we're really still at the precipice of change. We haven't, I don't think, jumped off that cliff, so to speak, just yet. And that's why we're being called to be creative at this point. We're being called to begin making what we want to bring to the world, or what we want to do in life, or what it is we're called to be here for. So we're not jumping off that cliff, so to speak, just yet, but we're right on the edge of it, and we're about to, you know, we're getting prepared to. So, and I feel like it, like when we do, it'll bring in everything that is meant for us in a positive way. And perhaps I'm getting like the relationships, keep developing those relationships with your spiritual guides, with the Ascended Masters, with the divine. Whatever feels right for you, keep developing that relationship really as well. That's going to be really important in helping guide you through the next few phases of this time and your life. And yeah, for some people, there may be relationships coming in, new relationships, or you may be asked to go deeper in relationships. So I don't feel like we're doing this alone. It may feel like we're being alone right now, but that's because we've been called to sit and go within and really think about how we want our life to be, what goals we want to do, and all of that kind of stuff. And I'm just being guided to pull a healing energy card. And okay, so we've got two that fell out. We've got cellular change, and we have tree of life. So both of them to me are about new beginnings and new life, and also relationships. I mean, you have like the yin and yang on the cellular change, the two pods in a pea, and then you have the mother and the baby, you know, sort of represented as well, and also our relationship with the earth and the universe around us. So everything is contained within the universe. We are our own individual piece of that, but yet we are not alone. So I think that that is a really strong message to send forward. Love, healing on a cellular level, union, merging, wholeness, complete, galactic connections, anchoring love, change the new, truth and heaven in your body and life. Now you are ready. And the other tree of life one was balance, life, wisdom, simplicity, birthing of a new earth, goddess, free-flowing, sacral and base chakra, growth, everything coming together, faith, trust, support. And I don't think I could have ended that on a more perfect note. So that is the reading part done for this week. I hope that that has really answered a lot of questions for you and helped you in going forward this week. I feel really positive about the week coming forward. I do still feel like we're in a bit of a quiet zone, and I really just want to urge you that if you feel like doing something creative, making something, and you think that you're wasting your time because you really should be focused on this thing over here, whether that's in your business or your work or whatever it is, that it's okay to let that go for a minute, because you're not actually stopping working on it. You're still working on it, but you're just going about it in a different way, and you're opening yourself up to that guidance. So, yeah, let yourself be wild with the creativity. And yeah, and I really feel like that will help you at this point. So, that is the reading part done for today. So if you're willing and you would like to, please stay for a quick healing, energy healing, to assist you with the week ahead. So if you feel guided, get yourself ready. If you don't and you want to move on, then that is, I feel nothing bad from that. That is completely okay. And I wish you all the best for the week. If you would like to subscribe and like and comment on my post and my channel, that would really, really help me get out to more people so that more people can hear this guidance and hopefully this positivity through their lives, and maybe get a chance at a quick healing to help their energy move forward. That would really mean a lot. Thank you. Okay. So if you're staying for the healing, I just want you to take a second, just relax and breathe into your center, and just center yourself in this moment and in this point of time. Today I'm being guided to ask you to begin by imagining yourself being wrapped into a cocoon of healing energy. Now, to me, this kind of looks like a burrito. Is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing like a yellowy gold tortilla that's quite small being wrapped around you, but it's to represent the energy, and it's being wrapped around you today. So just feel yourself in that loving embrace of energy as it wraps around you, protecting you and nourishing you, giving you some softness in your life, support as well, bringing in some support there. I'm not sure if you feel this, but I'm seeing a divine connection of golden light from your umbilical cord to the Creator. And it's reminding you that you are never severed from divine love. You are always one and a part of the cosmos. And divine healing energy is your birthright, and it is always available to you. Whenever you call upon it, you can receive and access it, I'm being told. They're wanting me to let you know, which I already know, but if you go to reputable healer, they would tell you that they're not healing you, that the divine is, and they are just a channel through which you receive that healing. And that's what I tell my clients, and that you are capable of healing without me being there, just with yourself and the divine. So anytime you feel as though you need healing, you can ask for that from the divine, from God, from whoever source you feel comfortable with, the Divine Mother, and it will be available to you. So they really wanted me to let you know that today. And I'm seeing you all, I don't know what you're feeling, if you feel anything, but I'm seeing you all now in an egg of energy. And it's nourishing you and giving you everything that I spoke about. So I just want to go quiet for a second and let you really feel into all of this nourishment, this flow, this abundance, this healing that is there for you every second of the day. And really envisage yourself in a cocoon or an egg of this beautiful healing energy, divine light. And let it flow through you right now. Really just open up to it and allow it to be. And so it is. Okay, if you're with me, pause this if you want to continue the healing, but I'm being guided to leave it there today. I'm also being guided to tell you that some of you may be opening your eyes a little bit more to the nature spirits around, and perhaps that to be open to perhaps seeing some nature sprites, so tree elements, the tree elementals, and maybe even water sprites and things coming forward into vision, actual vision for you. So that message will be to, oh, I'm getting shivers, a very few percentage of you. I don't feel that will be all of you, but there is a few of you that will be receiving those visions and to help you along the path and awaken your third eye to really possibilities and what's around you, and opening up that connection even further to the divine and nature, Mother Nature and itself as well. So let me know how that healing went for you. That was a different one. I was completely guided through that one with you today. So let me know how that worked and how that felt for you. I would really be interested to know. But yeah, bringing yourself back to awareness now, wiggling those toes and hands and fingers, and knowing that what was meant to happen has happened, and there has been a cleansing there for you, what was needed on a cellular level too, I feel. So all right, I shall leave that with you today. I just want to thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate it, and from the bottom of my heart, I wish you all the best, and I hope to see you next week. All right, thanks everyone. Bye.